Today, I woke up to one of my YouTube videos performing a lot better than most of my other ones. I'm used to videos getting around 100, 150 views overnight. Um, Not to this scale, though. Especially not recently. After I posted a bunch of Undertale videos, I started going back to Marvel Rivals. And I realized, I talked about this a little bit before, I realized that if I stop trying to make clickbaity thumbnails and clickbaity titles and just have it be natural, not in the sense of like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like I'm not trying to be Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to grab everyone's attention. It's just what it is. It's authentic. It's personal. It feels like a human typing it and not an algorithm, if that makes sense. And I've noticed that my videos do a lot better when I do them like that. Uh, and I noticed today I woke up, I had a lot more subscribers from that video, had a lot more views. It's currently sitting at 1 of 10 out of my top recent videos, which is what you're always trying to go for. You're always trying to make your next video have more views than your last one type shit, you know what I mean? In a shorter amount of time, which is what this is. In the last day and 14 hours, this is the most amount of views I've gotten on a video. Um, and it's really putting it in perspective about how personal YouTube can be and how you don't need to you don't need to follow trends in the sense of you need to be like everyone else. When I see mainly I'm just gonna use Marvel Rivals for an example. When I see people make thumbnails and make titles for their videos, they're always using either big name streamers like in the thumbnail or in the title, or they'll use I'm assuming Blender to make custom 3D like poses for the characters that they play. I noticed that those videos, although yes, they do well, they all look the exact same. They all like the only way to discern who is actually like the creator of the video, you have to understand like, hey, well, I know Grey Hulk is this bad GD player guy, but the only other way I'd know is if I just look who created it. You know what I mean? Every other detail about this thumbnail is shared across so many different creators. If I go back to the Mr. Beast example, fuck, you know how many people do the fucking face in their thumbnails and and they got like $1 mansion, $1 billion mansion. You know what I mean? It's all the same. It feels all the same, and I don't want to be like that. Just because I've been making a whole I did it yesterday about being performative and trying to put on an outward act so people can understand me more, I guess, and be more inclined to watch my stuff. But at the same time, I don't want to pull people into a false sense of like who I am. You know, I still want people to understand what I do, what I like, how funny I am, I guess, what's going on. What I'm trying to say here is that I'm noticing that when I try to not fit in and when I just do things the way I imagine they will work instead of how other people have garnered their success, however I want to branch my success through, it works. When I try to be myself and do it my own way instead of trying to follow the path of someone else, I see myself get more success. What I'm trying to say is that most times in life, you understand that the only way people get successful is because they carved their own path. The first person to ever be successful at something did it their own way. Yes, you can find success by following the path of others, maybe deviating a little bit to see if you can get your own unique spin on it. But at the end of the day, the first person to do something, the first person to ever succeed in whatever you're trying to do, did it their own way. They made their own path, you know. No one was there to give them a template, no one was there to give them advice or examples or whatever. They just did it. And I'm trying to see if I can just do it myself instead of trying to follow in the steps of other people who I don't really relate to. You know, a lot of it is as well is trying to relate to people, you know, trying to understand their methodology where I think that's the word, not mythology. Mythology is gods and shit. Trying to follow their methodology on how to get a certain process done it may not work for you at all, in the sense of like that's just not how your brain operates. That may not be how your audience operates, you know? Especially when I notice that yes, these guys get a lot of views, but there's not a lot of retention. There's not a lot of people going, this guy's good because of his personality. This guy's good because I'm entertained by the streamer themselves or by the YouTuber themselves. I'm entertained by the fact that he's really good at this one thing and he's really good at playing this one character. You know, I've said before, I don't want to be known as like someone when I played Overwatch, I didn't want to be known as a Doom player or a ball player. I wanted to be known as Clementine. Same thing really applies to this game. I'm trying to branch out to a lot of other games. Like I said, I uploaded a bunch of Undertale videos just because it's Clementine. It's not fucking Marvel Rivals gameplay. It's not Overwatch gameplay. It's Clementine. That's what the whole bit is. It's me. It's not just Thor, not just Hulk. I play other things. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say, guys, is that being true to yourself is so important when trying to build an audience online. Because at the end of the day, you, like I said yesterday, you have to just live with yourself all the time. You have to be your authentic self all of the time in real life, off camera, you know? So being able to incorporate that a little bit more into your content it makes it a lot easier to not only build an audience but to maintain that audience because there's no shift, there's no like character shift. It's just you know, especially if you're trying to build a fan base based off your personality, based off who you are instead of what you do. It makes it so much easier to shift whatever game you're playing, whatever thing you're doing. I plan on doing these videos. I plan on doing my gaming videos. I want to do a cooking channel once I move out. I want to do so much other shit. But if I'm only known for being a Thor player, only being known for playing being a Doom and Ball player on Overwatch, I think it would make it a lot harder to try and branch out if I get stuck in a box like that. So being able to have my personality shine through a lot more in my videos and have people be more attracted to that overall, it really does give me the belief that I can take this a lot further than what people may think so. Thank you.